Fantasy football Twitter docs. The fact of the matter is that all summer long, you guys have been tweeting, quote, reliable injury analysis. Reliable analysis such as Chris Godwin won't be back until October because the earliest the spreadsheet says is that it takes 9 months for an ACL to rehab. Or how about Cam Akers? Because by God, the data on Achilles tears tells me that superstar running backs such as Beanie Wells, Mikel LaShore, and 29-year-old Arian Foster were never the same again after tearing their Achilles. So don't draft Cam Akers because there just isn't enough data that supports a return to form. J.K. Dobbins, Michael Thomas, the list goes on and on. Hell, over the past weekend, a bunch of you pencil neck geeks raced to Twitter and misdiagnosed Zach Wilson with a torn ACL. All because some hack Twitter doc said so. A Twitter doc who apparently has made more settlements than Deshaun Watson, and whose medical malpractice has allegedly led to more hospitalizations than the monkeypox. Yeah, forget the team doctors. I want to listen to that guy. So to all you fantasy football Twitter docs out there, let me leave you with 3 simple tips that will provide you with more reliable injury analysis. Tip number 1, stop with the absolutes. Stop with the all J.K. Dobbins isn't healthy, or that Chris Godwin is only going to be 82% healthy by October because your algorithm says so. Because one of the first things that you should have learned about rehab is that every patient's rehab is different. And that's the other thing. Stop talking like you have inside information on a player's health. For God's sakes, Buffett Joe has a better chance at touching a treadmill than you have ever at touching an NFL player's rehab. Tip number 2, stop clout chasing. Because every time it seems that an injury happens, you jabronis race to Twitter to try to diagnose an injury just to get some likes. And finally, tip number 3, the most important tip of them all. Fantasy football Twitter docs, listen closely. The final tip for all you to know is that you should all know your role and shut your mouth. Fantasy football Twitter docs, you are my schmucks of the summer.
Well deserved.